You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Nerds!
Welcome back to Nerds Podcast. We continue this journey for Alien Earth. As you know, I have Pete by my side. Ko is still out there saving the world. We hope you get back soon, brother. And we are going deep into the Alien Earth. We're going more into this world building. And again, this episode is called Metamorphosis. Pete, are you liking the trajectory of the show so far?
Yeah, it's going. The only place it could go from the first one, which was tough to watch, is up. So yeah.
No, agreed. I stated in our first episode that we started recovering this that I was a bit confused. But again, it has a slow burn for the most part, but some exciting parts in this particular episode.
Starting to pick up speed.
I do like the way they do their recap. That they do the iconic title of Aliens, and you see the letters in a sense. But the way they do the recap as part of the entry title, again, never seen that before. How about you?
No.
Yeah, it's more cinematic in a sense, right? In the sense of that nature. They predict a couple of things because you saw kind of the xenomorph on its side as they're doing the intro. So kind of predicting what we're going to see the xenomorph to look like. So I guess we have to pay more attention to that opening credit thing that they do because it's showing something. But we kind of picked up where we left off, where Wendy's looking for her brother. And again, I'll compare this to kind of like Winter Soldier type of thing. She's using some of her synthetic senses using sound. Did you pick that up, Pete?
No, I mean, I know she is, she's enhanced and, she's, I didn't pick that up, but I do know that she is enhanced. That she's not, she's on a different level than everybody else, especially, her brother. But yeah, I just know that she's enhanced. Didn't really pick up on that part, what you just mentioned.
So I'm going to ask you a question. Who you got in a race? Winter Soldier, Captain America, Black Panther, or Wendy? Who's going to win a race on that?
Black Panther.
Okay. I love it. As you can tell, we're going to have fun with this show. We're going to mix it up just a little bit because, again, this is Alien Earth. This is also new to both Pete and I, so we're just going to have fun with it. The Lost Boys are picking up some specimens, and Kirsch, at this point, I look at him as Billy Idol. I'm sorry, Pete.
Yeah, I know. I
put it in my head.
That was my bad. I'm sorry.
I can't unsee it now.
Neither can I. And
he's
I'm like,
Billy
wow.
Idol.
He's got to get the lead role in the Billy Idol, the biopic. Man, he's got to get that role.
Please, put him in. I'll watch the movie and cover it if he is. But he was downloading all the information on his own, trying to read some of these things. I would actually paused it, Pete. And there was a point where the plant that was kind of hanging down, I think Toodles, I want to say it's Toodles that was the one messing with it. It's carnivorous. It will eat someone, but it didn't eat Toodles when it was actually exposing itself because of the fact that he's not human. And it would bite into synthetic. So it kind of picked it up and was smart enough to know that. But Wendy finds a brother in the back of a meat truck. I guess in the future, trucks look the same. The trailers don't change.
When you say that, I wanted to highlight something that I noticed, and this is supposed to be way in the future. Am I right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but it's not nothing that it's not. Nothing crazy as far as the plot of this episode is. But when Kirsch is dissecting the specimen and the girl is holding a camera, like I would think in 2100 there's that's floating around. You know what I mean? And it's like it's doing it on its own. Like she kind of was holding a camcorder, and then you said, "Look, the back of trucks look the same." The guy who was talking to the two the children.
Morrow, the security guy.
No, the other guy. It was a bald white guy, older guy.
Oh, the kind of like boys Butler.
Yes, exactly. When he was talking to them, like he was dressed regular. Like there's nothing really futuristic about a lot of the things that you would think they would have like a futuristic look. And not to nitpick or complain, I just noticed that, and I'm saying, wait a minute, this is like if you look at if you look at Total Recall, and that I'm talking about with Schwarzenegger, you see that they kind of because there's one with Colin Farrell. You see that they kind of play up the future thing a lot. And a lot of the things a lot of the everyday things that they use, they're futuristic. Here, I don't see that. So just,
I kind of give it like Fantastic Four and Jetsons, where they have kind of a retro future type of thing, where they use retro things like a camcorder. You got to understand they're basing this off of 1979, right? They're like the basis of this alien Earth is 1979 about the future. So they're going to have a lot of things that were futuristic in 1979, but not in 2025. That's how I see it. Kind of like, again, like retro futuristic kind of way like Fantastic Four was. So again, I agree with you. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. You lost me.
Yeah. I'm throwing darts at the board here.
Yeah, you really are, because I was just like, what? Okay, but again, not to nitpick, but
it's true.
I understand the movie was I understand the movie was some time ago, and this is supposed to be in the future, but it's still the future, regardless of when. You know what I'm saying? Look at Demolition Man. They were in the future, and everything was futurized there. So that's just what I'm saying.
No. Again, I can't take away from what you're saying, because I've noticed the same things. And it's like I said, the trailers are like the same trailers that hang out in Hunts Point in the Bronx. Like there's no future there. But and back to that Xenomorph scene, which again, probably the best scene in the whole show, was when she found her brother, and it didn't kill Joe either. And again, but historically, we kind of know these aliens will take people to make eggs out of them, to implant eggs in them. So I'm thinking he saw Joe as another piece of the puzzle to create more eggs. But of course, he didn't get a chance to it. Wendy definitely stopping that. But, for the most part, as I know of the Xenomorphs, they don't attack unless they're provoked. Unless they feel threatened, they're really not going to attack. But this Xenomorph pops in his head into the trailer. Pete, did you think that they were cooked, both of them, inside? You thought he was going to go completely inside?
No, it was weird because, like you said, they're not. He wasn't provoked, so he didn't attack. But he kind of was still like banging on the top of the trailer, Oof. And then when he was inside, when they trapped him in the elevator or whatever that was, where the door closed,
container area,
yeah. I just no, I didn't think they were cooked because Wendy. Yeah, I knew they had they have. Not that they have an advantage, but it's kind of like, they can compete with the Xenomorph, being that she's enhanced.
This thing competes against predators.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's made to be a killing machine.
Good point there. Yeah, you're right. But if it was humans, I would have been like, yeah, they're done. But Wendy...
But listen, I need to know what staples Wendy went to get that paper cutter to cut through steel. And again, another one, I'm going to call bullcrap on this one too. Like, that's a paper cutter. She got that from a paper cutter. Again, futuristic. They're still using paper.
And they're still using paper cutters.
Yeah. But she grabbed the paper cutter like it's a sword, stabbed it through the steel, stabbed the Xenomorph, and we finally get to see some acid action.
Yeah.
We finally got to see some acid action on there. But, she goes out, he flips the trailer, she gets out the trailer. He has this kind of fish hook, I guess, a meat hook, I guess, right? Because they're in a meat truck in a sense. But did you catch that as the second thing came out, he grabbed, he parked it on that?
That was pretty cool.
All jokes aside, that's like grabbing that guy by the balls. I would think so too. There's a meme that I saw the other day that a dog bit a cat jumping nipped him on the sack, and and the cat lost. I have to send it to you. Hopefully, we could put it on the podcast. But yeah, he grabbed the xenomorph on its second mouth. I'm sorry, that wasn't Joe. It was Wendy.
Yeah,
because it was gonna kill Joe, and she got the hook around that second mouth. I'm like, wow. Again, I'm always intrigued by things I've never seen before. Like I've seen aliens, I've seen them get shot, I've seen the acid spew everywhere. I've seen the tail, kind of whip around and kill people, but it was in such pain that the xenomorph didn't even try to get her with the tail. Right? I'm thinking
it looked like it kind of did, but it was one of those like desperation. Yeah, out of desperation, like I'm sure. Like if you're equating it to it being grabbed by the balls, I'm sure he was in pain.
Like, at that point, you're like, hands up. But she moves the xenomorph into that closet, into that storage room, which they did in part 3. I do remember that they closed the xenomorph and tried to drip it with lead to try to kill it in Alien 3. So. But, Joe's put in predicaments like he can't get out of. Just jumping over this thing, closing the elevator door, having a dead body on him. Like, Joe is not a good look with the xenomorph at all. And then his sister gets put into this closet, and he's panicking. Like, he's trying to figure out how to, hotwire the door. And because he got stabbed with the tail, he passed out in front of his sister. Like, when she went in there, you knew the door was going to open up. What were you expecting to see?
I expected, I was, again, it's something that's common knowledge. I thought she was going to come out on top as far as, but just, I guess the thing that I would just, to find out what happened when the door opened is how she killed it. I knew she was going to come out on top. She's the star of the show, so I know she's gonna come out on top. It's just basically, what did she do? What happened behind that door?
Yeah, how did she slice his head off with a paper cutter? Staples, I'm hoping that you sponsor our next show so we can actually support paper cutters moving forward. Then we get a cut of I want to say their names, Slightly and Smee. They're watching the eggs, and they get interrupted by Morrow. The way Morrow was downloading the information stressed me the hell out. The way he was sweating.
That was different.
Because of all that information that was coming through, and his line of questioning to try to figure out if they were human or if they were synthetic. Was kind of dope as well, but I cannot lie. When Billy Idol, the exchange between Kirsch, I know his name is Kirsch, guys, so if you're going to get on this channel, you're going to get at us, understand that he's Billy Idol on this show. I thought that their talk track was pretty dope. Yeah. Because they're both kind of, well, he's not a synthetic because he's half human. He's cyborg, I think it is.
Yes, he's a cyborg.
He's a cyborg, but Billy Idol is synthetic. And he asked them, are you their parents? Which is, again, pretty dope concept to think about because he is a father figure. And I didn't say this on the last show, but I liked what he said, fears for animals. You guys are an animal.
I noticed that too. So it's kind of thrown me off when they do show some type of fear because, again, they're synthetic. So when he said that, it like you said, it is something to take note of, but I kind of raised eyebrow when they do show fear. That's what kind of. But again, not that it's just. It was something when he said it. I was like, okay, if they're synthetic, do they show fear? And if they are showing fear, why? You know what I mean? Based on what he said.
No, 100% agreed with you. I actually truly believe that they shouldn't show fear, but they're still kids. So again, you kind of have to play on both of those parts, which is understandable. But again, they collect Wendy, they collect Joe, they collect the xenomorph, they collect everything. All the specimens are coming to Neverland now. And I did notice again. I watched this now twice, and Joe had a tattoo on his left arm of a walrus, which is kind of funny because Wendy carries a plush walrus on her side. I'm not sure if you peeped that, but something with the walrus, and I guess something with Ice Age, because they brought that in there as well, has something to do with all that. And I just wanted to say that because I noticed it, so might be an Easter egg there when it comes to that. But one of the most good scenes that I saw was when Kirsch and Boy gets next to the eggs, and the eggs start to hatch open, and he pushes Boy out of the room, saying that, hey, they're actually looking for a human host, right? That was kind of crazy, but he kind of got back at him too. He was like, it can't happen to me. I'm synthetic. Because if you remember, he actually told, Boy told Kirsch, Billy Idol, that he thought that being synthetic would make him better than a man and stop making excuses. So the reverse of it was like, you can't even be in this room because you're a human and I'm synthetic. So I kind of find that a play on words. What do you think?
Just the whole situation of him collecting all that and bringing it back. That, and when this type of thing happens in movies, when they kind of overstep their bounds and kind of cross the line where they shouldn't, it always ends up bad. This to me is going to go the same route. Why would you bring all, and just the way it looks, you know what I mean? It's nothing is enticing about it to say, hey, yeah, let's take that home. And he brought all of it back. And then again, I understand you have a lot of synthetics around you to protect you, but you're asking for it. You're playing with fire here, bro. That's my opinion on that. Like, I get it. It was cool. It was a cool exchange, but just overall, what they're doing there it's madness to me.
I think Boy is just excited that he has like $1 trillion of this other company's research, and they went out and found this stuff, and now it's laying on his lap. Is what he's most excited about versus the ideology that this thing might just wipe off humans off the earth.
When you think you're the smartest in the room, it usually comes back to bite you in the ass. So,
yep, absolutely. And then a little surprise here because Nibs, who's the redhead, is kind of questioning everything at this point, right? And she's like, why did she get Wendy? Why can't we keep our real names? Curly, who she's talking to, tries to get in good with the boy wonder here. And I don't know, maybe she got a little jealous of Wendy. But she's like, when she said, my dad always threw out the first pancake. Meaning saying, hey, even though she's your first, that doesn't make her the best.
That's when then she asked, am I your favorite now?
Yeah, yeah. But did you notice that Nibs, the redhead, is kind of losing her mind here?
Like, yeah, she seems distracted. Yeah, she seems distracted. I'm sure we'll find out more about that down the line. But yeah, she does. Maybe the encounter with whatever the hell that was in the first one. And again, they're synthetic. Again, that fear factor comes back into play. You shouldn't be showing fear, and we've seen it pretty much. It seems like in all of them we've seen it. So
I think Nibs for the most part is realizing where she's at. Like, she's realizing that they're just using us. We're just tools. Like, even when she puts her finger on the mirror, as you know, that if you put your finger on the mirror and it does not connect, that means it's a two-way mirror.
Yeah.
And that someone else can see on the other side. So if you're ever in a hotel and you're wondering if someone's looking at you, you put your finger on the mirror and it does not connect, means that someone can see you from the other side. That's what I've known for the most part. But Wendy wakes up. She's irritated by the sound of the small specimen that's inside what I call like a face hugger. I think the correct name is endomorph compared to xenomorph, but endomorph is what that is. And like you said, we saw it kind of going crazy. They break off the shell. They cut up, I guess, this clear seal portion of it, and it comes out, bro. And it does not. It is looking to hug onto someone else.
Of course, why would you bring that home? But go ahead.
But he has to shock it for it to come down. They're gutting it open, I guess, based on the information that Billy Idol downloaded, that he knew exactly what to look for. Now, the question that I have here is the lung that belongs to Joe. Do you think they're going to put that lung back into Joe, or they're just gonna give him like an artificial lung, and they just want to see how it habitats inside that lung?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question. I wouldn't want it back, being that what they did, just, you hitting everybody off with synthetic shit. Hit me off too with a synthetic lung, so I don't have to. And look what you just did with it. You're testing things with it. Like, nah, you know what? Hook me up with something synthetic, and I'll be good.
Listen, the face huggers are probably, when it comes to the whole alien thing, the thing that gives me the most creeps. In this, I'm not sure if you saw Alien Romulus, but there was a scene where there's like 4 or 5 of them chasing, and it does not look fun at all. But no, I'm curious to see whether they put the lung back. I'm curious to see how Joe wakes up in all this inside of Neverland. Any expectations that you have for the next episode?
No, like I said, it kind of ascended from when it started, and it seems like they're on the path. Just on what you expect from a series is just to the longer you go, the more you watch, the more they're gonna kind of expand the story and then tie up anything they may have introduced in the first couple of episodes. So yeah, it's on a good path, like the trajectory you spoke of before.
Yeah, again, I'm expecting a nice trajectory, just the same as well. Well, folks, so you have it. Episode 3, Metamorphosis. The change is happening. The show is becoming better as we're watching it. I think P agrees to that portion of it. We'll see where this takes us. Do I say right now this deserves a season 2? I would probably say no. Like, if you ask me right now, I wouldn't say it deserves an episode, a second season, maybe a movie afterwards. But as of right now, I wouldn't say a second season is even viable. It doesn't have me that intrigued. What do you say, Pete? Do you think it deserves a second season right now?
Everything right now, I would say no, because I'll die on this hill. Everything doesn't deserve a second season, and it's okay to tell a story, and that's it. Everything doesn't have to be a continuation. That's how I see everything.
Perfect. Well, folks, there you have it. Pete, take us out.
We will return.
The worst episode ever.